I'm currently in Greece, and I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Exploring a small island town searching for images as a lost landscape photographer from the Rockies.
I mean, I don't know, is that good? I just don't really know what I'm looking for.
Walking tight winding streets with not much of an idea of what I'm doing.
I suppose it's down to me really, isn't it, what I think is good.
Can I get this style of photography more into my comfort zone?
Maybe I'm getting into the swing of this now.
And maybe even surprise myself with some of the results.
Maybe the more I move away from that kind of landscape mindset and the more I shoot like this, the better results I'm going to get.
And maybe I'll even give up landscape photography altogether.
I'm an abstract street photographer now. So obviously, normally, I'm used to the Canadian Rockies. I'm used to kind of big, open, sweeping vistas, kind of just big grandeur with the mountains and the lakes, and obviously landscape photography. And in a lot of those situations, I'm shooting with a tripod. I've got a camera, multiple lenses, lots of filters, all that stuff as well. It's a bit more of a controlled environment, I'd say. You have more control over your image. You're spending more time on it. However, right now, I'm in a small town on an island called Sifnos. And here, it's a little bit different. While staying on these Greek islands here, I'm not going to be doing as much classic landscape photography. I've got these small towns, so really I'm looking at architectural photography, street photography, or maybe even a little bit of seascape. All types of photography that I just don't get the opportunity to shoot normally. So it's going to be interesting to see what I can end up with. So not only am I out of my comfort zone photographically, it's also super hot here, which is again something I'm not really used to. Normally, when I'm out in the Rockies, I'm battling extreme weather in one way or another, but it's rarely extreme heat. So, out of my comfort zone in more ways than one on these Greek islands. So I suppose one of the things I'm going to be on the hunt out for this morning is kind of more architectural shapes, kind of contrast colour, sharp angles. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm looking for. So what do you think? That little building, the 3 triangles, the door, the kind of slightly backlit hedge. I mean, I don't know, is that good? I'll take the picture, because you might as well take the picture, and I'll see how it turns out. Maybe. It's definitely easier taking pictures of bigger landscapes, just that big grandeur effect that you get with a large landscape. You can't really go too far wrong, but we will see how some of these turn out.
Yeah, not sure that's really any good. Definitely some room for improvement.
And I suppose, as is usual, I've come out really early this morning, partly to get the streets a bit quieter, but also as well, once the sun's low, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get these quite distinctive strips of light kind of penetrating through buildings, causing shadows, causing some light, causing some contrast. And I think that's what I really need to take advantage of this morning. Like even this picture here with the church behind me, I kind of took a snap of this the other day, but there wasn't really any light. And in an ideal world, I would love it. So that blue door of the church sits nicely between the gate and the wall here. However, if I do that, I'm not quite getting the leading line of this light on the ground that I'd like. So I've kind of taken both, but I think kind of maybe not getting that alignment of the door and shooting more directly means I get a little bit of the tree backlit as well. But yeah, I need to look out for that. Definitely take advantage of these kind of shadows created by the low light coming through the buildings.
Right, now that's a bit better, but it's definitely edging more towards my usual style though.
So definitely struggling a little bit this morning. There are so many kind of sharp angles and shadows and light kind of going through the town here. So there's got to be some shots, got to be some kind of more abstract-y shots. But to be honest with you, I just don't really know what I'm looking for. This really isn't my forte. It's hard to know like what's good or what's considered good when it comes to kind of more abstract images. I suppose it's down to me really, isn't it, what I think is good. So we are taking some shots. I'm looking out for that shadow. I'm looking out for that contrast between light and dark and shapes. And hopefully we can get some stuff that's kind of okay. So I think even stuff like this just here could work quite well in this kind of style of photography. Like you see here just the kind of way this is in the shade, this is in the light. You've got a lot of angles. So I'm kind of wondering, will something like that work quite well, maybe even in black and white with the kind of contrast of the sky behind as well? That's the kind of thing I'm looking out for, but we will try that right now. Now, something like that might work nicely in black and white. I suppose it's the kind of image where at first you're not really going to be able to tell what you're actually looking at. So you have to take a little bit of time to look at the image and kind of investigate it before you realise maybe exactly what it is. Yeah, let me know, does that work?
Now this is probably the first black and white image that I've made in a really long time. Something different, but I kind of like it. Like, what do you think? Do you think it works?
So it's definitely getting pretty hot. I'm getting a little bit sick of carrying this backpack around with me on my back, but I'm gonna try a longer focal length for a shot just up here actually. I don't know if you can kind of see this, but I think the way these steps are catching the light going up the side of the building here, if I zoom right in on that, I think that could make a nice little abstract shot. That's the idea anyway, but let's give it a go. What do you reckon? Maybe another abstract black and white shot? Let me know what you think. Now the question is this another abstract shot that could kind of work? Again, you see here the way these stairs kind of cross over themselves back and forth just there. Maybe I'm getting into the swing of this now. So I think I found another shot, and I think I quite like this one. You can see those kind of steps going up this building here, and each one has a terracotta planter on it. And just behind there's this nice pale blue hand railing that kind of runs in between, but there's some good pattern here and some good repetition. So I think if I can kind of crop in a little bit on this and maybe just get like 3 of those in that kind of run across the frame, that could be a nice little image. And it's picking up those little details, I think, that kind of represent the town and represent Greece. It's something I wouldn't normally think of shooting because like normally I'm kind of going for wider shots for landscapes, but trying to dial in the way I'm thinking a little bit is kind of changing how I'm seeing things. And the longer I'm doing this, the more shots I'm getting. So I'm thinking a little bit outside of the box and maybe getting this style of photography a little bit more within my comfort zone.
Now when I saw this little scene, the light caught my eye and I thought maybe this could work. However, I actually wasn't super confident in my own instincts, so I didn't really film too much, but took a quick shot anyway. And then after a bit of cleanup and a little edit, it's actually become one of my favourite images from that morning. Definitely different from my usual style, but I do think the light, the sharp edges, and the colour contrast make for a pleasing image.
Now, this guy here, he's got the right idea. This is what you want to do. Look at all these beautiful seascapes of the monasteries and everything here. Little shout out to your Sifnos. Much easier to shoot that landscape kind of stuff, though a lot less thinking involved, a lot less creativity, you know? I'm an abstract street photographer now. I think I got a couple of shots there, and definitely not within my usual kind of style. But realistically, I think what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to explore a bit further, maybe come out another morning and cover more ground and just explore further afield to see if I can get some shots that I'm really happy with. So I've come out on a bit of a run this morning, and I just had to bring my kind of little Ricoh GR3 with me this morning. Running around towns like this is a great way to revisit locations or find new little spots that you probably wouldn't have done normally. So I can cover a lot more ground in a shorter amount of time. And what I've done this morning actually is come back to this little location that we found yesterday. And as we were walking past, Brooke actually spotted it. As you can see, we've got this beautiful building here with the blue roof, and then we also have this little Vespa just down here as well. So it makes for a great composition just down the street, Vespa in the corner, building in the background. And I've come out a bit earlier this morning just so the light isn't so harsh. It's nice and soft on the building. And of course it would be great to have like a bigger camera with a longer lens, maybe shoot this at 50mm or get some more zoomed in compositions as well. And maybe I will do that, but the Ricoh is obviously much easier to carry around with me and I can be a bit more spontaneous. And with this style of photography, that's in all honesty what I need. I just need to be able to cover ground and find a lot of locations. It's not like landscape photography where I'm going to find a spot and settle in for a couple of hours and kind of set up a tripod and a lens and everything and wait for the light to change. I just need to be a bit more spontaneous and cover some ground and grab pictures when I see them.
Now, not particularly abstract or out there, but I like it.
I think that's actually pretty good. That shot just really resembles Greece to me. It resembles Sifnos, the white buildings, the Vespa. I mean, you can't get much more Greek, can you? Just behind me here is the Church of the Seven Martyrs. Now, this is definitely a location that's much more within my comfort zone, and actually one I kind of scoped and found out about before I came to Sifnos. And as you can see, we've got this beautiful little church perched right on the edge of this cliff, kind of a little peninsula out to sea. We've got some waves crashing against the rocks in the sea down below, and we've also got this kind of beautiful stone path with a kind of white detailing running down towards it. And I think this is definitely a shot I could get like more of a traditional landscape shot in, but I don't think sunrise is the time to do it, and especially right now, because it's about an hour after sunrise now, and you can see there's some really, really bright glare on the sea there. And I think I really quite like a wider angle lens, maybe to really kind of extend this path leading in. So I think, in all honesty, this is a spot that I am going to have to visit again, and maybe at sunset. But it just goes to show, coming out for a run and scoping out little areas definitely is worth it. Had I come down here at sunrise carrying all my heavy gear over here, I might have had to have rented a bike or a car to kind of get here. And if I'd done that and lugged my tripod down and all my filters and stuff at sunrise, I might have been a little bit disappointed. Like, I might have got a shot just as the sun came over the horizon, or just a little bit afterwards, but I think sunset is really the way to go here. And I think it's definitely going to benefit from a wider angle lens, some polarizing filters, and the use of a tripod for a longer exposure. So I probably will grab a shot with the Ricoh, but I don't know if it's going to quite pull it off. But I think this is one we might have to revisit. So in the end, I did decide to revisit that little church, the Church of the Seven Martyrs that I came across on my run early in the morning. I thought it would be a better sunset spot than sunrise, because there was that really bad glare on the water. But unfortunately, I think I was incorrect. It's very, very busy here, which you might be able to see. I did not expect there to be this many people here this evening. I thought there'd definitely be some extras, but nowhere near this many. So definitely getting that composition I had in the morning is proving pretty difficult, but I think I did get some nice shots using the drone, and also taking them actually further up here on the hill with some nice flowers in the foreground. So this is definitely more my kind of forte, more my wheelhouse, I suppose. A bit more of a landscape shot. I can set my tripod up here, get a filter on, use a polarizer, and take my time. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit busier. So definitely great to shoot a little bit more out of your comfort zone. I definitely prefer more of the landscape type images and the adventure that's involved with them, but always good to shoot in a different kind of way. And I feel like I'm kind of getting there. Maybe I'm learning things, and maybe the more I do it, the better I get, and the more I'll shoot like that. But I suppose the advantage of having everything with me and having a bit more of a setup does mean I can kind of outlast everyone as well. I can shoot a longer exposure on this and still get a really high quality image using a tripod. And it's going to look better than what you'll get on an iPhone later on. So probably wait a little bit, get a couple of shots. The shot I took with my Ricoh on that run might be the better one. You'll have to let me know which one's better, the one I'm taking tonight or the one I took in the morning using my Ricoh GR3 whilst out on that run. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. The next video will be coming from an island which I think might be one of the best islands for photography in the Cyclades. So do subscribe if you want to see that, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.